It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And today we're going to have some fun. I've been looking at this sad agave quichocon in this really cool kind of patinaed pot for months. And it makes me sad. Okay, so you can see that it's got some scarring on it. This was infested with mealybug for a period of time. I know I'm such a great plant mom, right? But it was, and that mealybug left marks. So as the leaves unfurled, we had scarring. But this is a really healthy plant, and it's so root bound in this pot. This one can get about this big around with pups, tons, cute little pups, babies. So I want to give it that opportunity. I know this isn't the, greatest looking plant right now, but there's nothing wrong with it. The damage is in the past, and we are looking forward. So the question is, can I get it out of here without breaking the pot? And I really think I can, because as memory serves, I think I kind of just laid it on top of some rocks to begin with. I didn't really plant it, which might have been part of the reason why it didn't thrive in this pot. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Easy. See? Okay. So, wow. Look at all that dead. All right. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time also. There's still some mealy down in there too. Just spend a little time off camera, just, cutting off all of this dead before we plant it. I'm not going to bore you with that. But what I found to put in its place was this blue pharaoh cactus that some of you may recognize. That it was over under the fountain in between the big agave attenuata variegata and the blue glow, and just kind of lost. Another thing, this guy, despite the fact that he's been in the ground for probably at least 3 years, hasn't grown. So I don't think this thing is going to get very big. I think it's going to be really, really happy here in this pot. And this is right at my front door. I come in this door, every day. And that's another thing that I kind of want you all to think about, in reference to your collections, your design aesthetics. Make sure that the areas that you see the most are the ones that look the best. Am I right? And I'm one to talk. This courtyard is a train wreck. I mean, I'm landlocked here, and we are just balls to the wall on projects all the time. And I always take more plants than I'm going to need on every project, so I have access to like a little mini nursery on site. But what that means is I've got to move plants back home, and then they get, moved into the next installation. So I've always got plants and nowhere to put them. But that is a lousy excuse. I'm going to work on it. And the first thing that I'm going to do is fix this pot. This is, I think, really going to inspire me to come up with a creative solution for something else that I can maybe do with these plants in the holding zone. That was what motivated me to redo the trash can area. I realized, I know this is where the trash cans go, but I also take the trash out twice a day, so I see it all the time. Greg is going to watch this video, and he's probably going to comment that I haven't taken the trash out in 10 years, that he takes the trash out twice a day. I may not take out like the bagged trash, but I take trash. I just want to make that clear. Okay, so this soil is great. As you can see, it's very rich. It smells wonderful. I think our little blue cactus is going to be supremely happy in this pot. Well, it sure is making me happy in this pot. I thought that this blue would be really, really beautiful against the terracotta. So then I can just backfill. And you notice there's a lot of pebble mixed in with the soil. Because I'm planting a cactus in this pot, I want to make sure that the soil is extremely porous and is going to drain really, really well and dry out really, really fast, because I don't want to take any chances with the possibility of this cactus rotting. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I wonder, it's going to be fun to watch on Walkabout Wednesdays how this does here. And if it perks up, because I really feel, for whatever reason, that it was pouting over in the backyard under the fountain. I don't know if it felt intimidated by all that beauty or what, but this is a majestic looking plant. You hear me? I'm talking to you. You're a majestic looking plant who I think just deserves some special treatment, and it deserves to be showcased. Okay, I have pushed my soil down nice and tight. And now, for the piece de resistance, I'm going to take some fiberglass that I found in the garage. Oh, there we go. Okay. And add a little bling. Oh my gosh, didn't that just take it to the next level? Love that. Wow. Now, you know, how long has this taken? Less than 10 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can get inspired, make some magic, apply some of your own creativity in 10 minutes or less. But this is just going to make me so happy every day, multiple times a day, when I walk up the front walk and I see this. Oh my gosh. Isn't that pretty? Hannah says gorgeous. Then I'll get the dustpan and the broom out here and do the cleaning, but voila, right? Love it. Now on to part 2. Okay, so this Quichocon, you know, this was so dead and nasty. Rather than try to mechanically remove each of these leaves off of the trunk, I just took the Sawzall and cut it clean. I'll just pull off the rest of these dead leaves. And if you want to try this with your agaves, go for it. If you are expecting rainfall, make sure you let this wound harden off first, turn into a callus before you stick it on the ground. We aren't expecting any rain ever, so I don't need to worry about that. And how interesting is it going to be to see if this works, right? To see if this plant will survive that beheading that I just gave it. And we'll just see. So this is what I want to put over here instead of this agave potatorum. This was a plant I rescued out of a client's garden during a maintenance. And you know what? I can't with it. It's just not cute. I don't love it here. I don't know, you know, part of it's because of the rock. It just kind of all blends in, and it's just a nothing burger. I want something that's going to pop. So the poor potatorum, which also I kind of just laid down on the ground, is going to have to find yet another home. So for now, I'll put it over along the side, and maybe I'll take it over to our Normal Heights project next week if I see a good place for it there. All right, so since I did that, I'm going to take a second and just make sure that I don't see anything funky going on here in the soil, any bugs or whatnot. I don't see anything. It looks clean. I'll just kind of move the rock around a little bit because that potatorum isn't quite as big. Or I'm sorry, the agave Quichocon isn't quite as big as the potatorum was. All right, now, this little aloe here, I'm not sure what it is. It was just popped in as a cutting too. It has started to root, and this is not going to be its permanent home. As soon as it gets its legs and starts to grow, I'll likely move it somewhere else. But it's just kind of a placeholder. And now for this poor cord little agave. Let's just set it right here on the ground. there we go.
You can move your ants over into that.
Yeah, Hannah says move the ants over. All right. And we will just play the wait and see game on that, and it'll be a fun science experiment for us all to enjoy. Also, yesterday's Walkabout Wednesday, we came out here and I was lamenting how bad the front looked. So this morning I spent, as advertised, about an hour, and I cleaned all the detritus out of the lava rock, pulled what few little weeds there were, and I just supplemented my black ribbon with some fresh black lava bag that I used, one bag that I had in the garage, and cut off a couple little branches off of the Aluaudia. This one at some point is going to have to go too, because you can see it's kind of infringing on the driveway there, but I kind of need it right now for balance, so I let that one ride. But there were some cross branching going on down here that was just kind of unnecessary. I also noticed when I was pulling weeds, I had to dig up some of the barrels in order to get at the weeds, and this soil is really, I mean, it's almost wet. I haven't watered out here since sometime last year. I'm not exactly sure why it's retained so much moisture. Yeah, and Hannah made a good point. The front yard doesn't get as much sun in the wintertime, but because I was going to give the Aluaudia a deep water too. Some of you ask about that. You know, when the leaves fall off, it's usually due to either drought or cold or maybe both. And when the leaves drop off, if it is also in the winter, you don't want to overdo it with the water because the plant is going dormant. If the leaves drop off in summer months, in hot months, it's usually due to drought and you want to water. But I don't want to inundate this with too much irrigation and run the risk of rotting it out. So I'm just going to let it ride. If your plant looks all puckery up at the top and your soil feels very, very dry when you dig around and kind of investigate, then by all means give it a drink. But err on the side of caution. Remember, these plants store water. All of these branches have water in them. They're like camels. So this plant is, you know, perfectly capable of sustaining itself through long periods of drought. Always less rather than more when it comes to water. Okay. Thank you all too for commenting on my black boots. My Steve Maddens yesterday, I had a consultation, and let's face it, these tennis shoes have definitely seen much better days, but they're so comfortable and I don't want to thrash the boots. So that was a lucky one-off for you. I'm not going to see those out here probably ever again, but thanks for noticing. I guess that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for following. I appreciate all the new subscribers. That's due to you guys sharing the videos. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity saying Happy Heart Month. I love you so much, and your succulent tip of the day. Bye guys.